Pep Man, Matt Mark on the varsity here with Butler head coach Brian Hales. Coach, talk to me about your offseason. How's it going so far?
Off season's been great. I mean, this time of year, everybody's filled with enthusiasm, and everybody's extremely optimistic. And I think we definitely have reason to be. When the kids first came in January, there's an attitude about them, there's a hunger about them that haven't really seen spread throughout the team like we have in some years. But they came in with that attitude, and it's just carried over. In fact, we came out here for practice last week one day, and coaches and I, we met late up in the field house. We came down, kids already got themselves started and warming up and everything, and there's some real strong leadership in this crew.
Excellent, good to hear. What's the team goal for Butler this year?
Obviously we want to get better. And I know one of our friends in the media always gives me trouble about this, because I always tell them, we always want to be the best version, of Butler football anybody's ever seen on a Friday night. So, we're going to continue to work towards that. I mean, definitely want to improve where we were last year, but I mean, with the kids that we have right now, and their ability and how hard they're working, I mean, sky's the limit for this year. So, I mean, really, it's in their hands like it always is. We're going to have the kind of season that they want to have based on their work ethic and their commitment and everything else.
Well, they certainly looked impressive today in practice, Coach.
Oh, yeah.
Who are some of those players that we should look out for this year?
I mean, I think it's going to start with Keon Lassane. I mean, just as versatile and as tough a kid, as explosive a kid as I've been around. And we've been around some really good ones around here. But Keon's he's so special in that success is so important to him, that he prepares so extremely hard, whether it's in the weight room, whether it's at practice, or whatever the case may be. But I think Keon's going to definitely be the guy who's going to kind of set the table for us. And then, obviously, if we're to talk offensively, we got the two running backs, and Jamal Worthy and Quayshawn Holmes. And I mean, they complement each other so well. They're both physical kids. They both run extremely well, catch the ball well. And then that takes us to our guys up front, and just so excited about the offensive line. We have 4 kids back that started last year for us. So, 2 of them will be juniors, 1 will be a sophomore. So just getting out here for the spring, their retention and the ability to just start calling stuff, and it just may be a reminder on this, a reminder on that, and they're up and running. But like Anthony Carter and Trey Richburg and Brendan Manning at center, just real excited about those guys. From a receiver perspective, we're real excited about a kid named Josh Burnett.
Okay.
Josh just came to school here at Butler back in January, and really brings another aspect to us that I think is going to be very beneficial to us offensively. And then Jaden Clark's another kid on the outside. I think is going to surprise some people as well. Defensively, the Freeman twins on the edges. Those guys are a handful. They were last year, and they both put on 10-15 pounds in the off season and haven't lost a step. In fact, I think they're both a little bit quicker now. Brandon Mazzone's back as an all-conference linebacker. Brandon's put on about 15 pounds in the off season as well. And then you got guys like Navario Rory, who's just, he's going to play H-back for us, but he just does so much for us, just in terms of attitude, in terms of leadership, that, I think he's going to make plays for us. And then he brings so much to the table, and guys like him are so valuable, and then you look in the back end with, Keon's going to be back there as well. And Tyron Jones is another kid that we got this year that we're real excited about him. And Onirian Olive and Jacqueline Morrison and Khalid Wilson and guys like that playing corner. We're real excited about what we've got.
Man, that's awesome, Coach. There's a lot of talent on this team.
There is.
Talk to us about your offensive defensive philosophy. What are we going to see from you guys this year?
Offensively, we're going to be the same as we've always been, and that's who knows what we're going to be. You'll know when we know come Friday night. But we like to stay real multiple. I mean, we're real big on just formations and motions, and trying to find out what you guys didn't practice for this week. And we try to find that out early enough, in the first quarter, and really go to work with that. But again, with the kids that we've got, we can be so flexible. Whether it's going to be we could be in the spread and empty one play and get in the eye and have, Holmes and Worthy back there, and, we can go 2 tight ends. And that's the thing. I mean, we're just going to be real flexible. And then, we got a new defensive coordinator this year, Mike Hawks. And, Coach Hawks is, he's been telling me we're coming after people. So he's going to be aggressive, and, we're going to try to make a lot of plays on the defensive side of the ball. And then, special teams wise, I think we're excited because of, again, the kids we've got. We got some naturals tackles, not just returning kicks, but guys that are going to be able to go back and block some kicks for us and, make some big plays in the special teams. So, real excited in all three phases this year.
Excellent, man. Last question. Tell us a little bit about you and your background for those that may not know or they may be new to the area.
Well, most people around here think I was born at Butler High School, which, some days it feels like that, but this will be my 15th season here at Butler. Came in as an assistant back in '04 and, just kind of worked my way up the ranks and, stayed patient. Every time Coach Newsom needed something done or needed a job done, happy to do it and jump in and, just, held myself accountable. And then, and so most of my background, I guess you'd say, was offensively. I was an offensive lineman at Kent State University. A scholarship athlete there for 5 years. And prior to that, I grew up in, just outside of Scranton, Pennsylvania. And my high school coach is going into, I think it's his 53rd year at the school this year. Yeah, Coach Hens is the second all-time in Pennsylvania in wins. And, and just so much of my philosophy I learned from him. And just the intensity that he prepared with and how he pushed kids, especially during the off-season and getting them prepared. I worked with a guy a few years back, and he had a motto where it was more along the lines of, "Let's just keep them busy until Friday." And honestly, with the veteran team, I think there's a lot to that. Right. You don't want to do too much or you start confusing people. But we want to give them enough and make sure that they're sharp and make sure they're fresh come Friday night. So no, had an opportunity to play for some great coaches. I talked to the offensive line today. I played for a guy in college named Forrest Gregg Jr. And obviously he's the son of Forrest Gregg, the Hall of Fame offensive lineman, former Green Bay Packer. And, just a lot of stuff I got from him in that, like if I were to make a mistake or not execute an assignment, he just had a way about him where I felt bad. I felt guilty that I didn't, meet his expectations. And, and I'd love to be able to have the kids, be able to say that about me, that if they don't execute, that they feel bad about it, not that they do it out of fear or anything like that. Because we're all on the same side. And that's, and I want these guys to take ownership of their careers and, ownership of their own academics and all that stuff. And, we're going to give them the tools, but, they're going to be men before we know it. And that's the thing with being here as long as I have. We've had so many former players, guys that I coached as freshmen that have been here as assistant coaches too. And I think it's a great example for our kids that it goes fast and all these guys are able to come back and talk to them about it. So just so much pride in Butler High School and, the players that we've put out and the program that we have here.
Yeah, it's a great tradition, Coach, for sure, man. I enjoyed watching you guys through the years and have really enjoyed it today. Appreciate the time. Thank you for letting me come out here, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you guys this season.
You got it. Well, thank you.